Sara didn't notice it at first. It was a Thursday night on campus, that weird time between midterms and finals where nobody sleeps, but everyone pretends they're fine. She was in the student lounge, the one with the old vending machines and the buzzing exit sign, finishing a psych paper on fear responses. That's the part that interested her most, how the mind could create real physical reactions from imagined threats, how dread could grow even when nothing was actually there. Irony, right? The lounge was mostly empty. Just her, the hum of the soda machine, and the light from the hallway behind her. The overheads were motion sensor, so half the room was dark. Long shadows stretched across the carpet. She was typing when something on the screen wobbled. Not the text, the light. Like someone walked between her and the hall. She turned. Nobody. Just the long, dark patch on the wall where the hallway light didn't quite reach. She shrugged it off. It's late. I'm tired. When she turned back to the screen, her own shadow was wrong. Not broken wrong, just a little too long. A little too tall for someone sitting. Like someone else was standing just behind her, but off frame. She spun around again. Empty. The exit sign buzzed. The motion sensor light at the far corner flicked on, even though nobody was over there. That was the first fear spike. Small. A little rush in her chest. Her breath went short. And something in the dark noticed. The thing had already been in the lounge. It liked places like that. Places where the light didn't fully win. It couldn't cross bright light, not on its own. It needed shade, dim corners, the underside of tables, the space under chairs. Best of all was a person's shadow. Human shadows were like doors. But a shadow by itself wasn't enough. It needed fear. Fear made the shadow heavier, more defined, easier to step into. The more someone imagined something in the dark, the more space it had to move. So when Sara's heart rate jumped, the thing slipped from the corner, through the darker patch under the vending machine, and into the shadow under her chair. Now it was attached. She finished her paper faster than usual, just to get out. She packed her bag, slung it over her shoulder, and walked toward the door. Her shadow stretched in front of her, pulled long by the hall light. It came with her. The hall to the parking lot was mostly dark. Campus did that to save energy. Every fourth light was on, which meant pools of darkness, perfect stepping stones. As she walked, her shadow moved normally, except every time she passed through one of those dark zones, it looked like something inside the shadow stood upright for a second. If she had turned around right there, she might have seen it. A figure inside her own silhouette, head tilted, watching. But she didn't look back. She unlocked her car, got in, drove to the sorority house. And the thing sat beside her, invisible in the footwell where the dashboard light didn't reach. The Pi Theta house was old. Not haunted old, just badly wired old. Stairs that creaked, windows that let in streetlight in weird slices, hall lights that flickered when someone ran a hairdryer. Perfect. Inside were 4 more girls tonight, laughing in the kitchen, watching some show in the living room, half-done face masks, empty wine glasses, normal college chaos. And when Sara walked in, carrying that little ripple of fear from the lounge, the thing tasted something else. A network. 1 girl being afraid feeds it. 5 girls being afraid, it evolves. "Hey, you good?" One of the girls, Jenna, asked when Sara came in. "Yeah, just late. Lounge was creepy." "Girl, don't say that. This house is already weird at night." There. Second fear source. Smaller, but real. The thing slipped out of Sara's shadow and into Jenna's, then back again, like a swimmer testing water. The living room light was bright. It couldn't fully manifest, but it could hint, so that's what it did. The first activity was simple. It always started simple. In the kitchen, the cabinet door swung open on its own. Not dramatic, just opened. Jenna was closest. She shut it. A minute later, it opened again. "Okay," she said out loud. Laughter from the living room. "House is haunted, another girl called. Jokes, nervous ones. Then the hallway light to the bathroom flickered off even though nobody moved. "Dude, no, I hate that," someone said. 3 of them now. 3 nervous systems, 3 growing shadows, 3 little wells of dread. The thing moved faster. Shadows are like hallways. It raced from the table leg to the kitchen counter shadow, then to the wall behind the TV, then back to Sara. Every time it jumped, it got sharper. Less wispy, more defined. It began to mimic. A glass clinked on the counter with no one touching it. Footsteps on the stairs even though nobody was upstairs. TV volume bumping up by 2. All tiny. All things you could dismiss. But that's how you build dread. Death by 1,000 almosts. Sara was the first to say it out loud. "I feel like something followed me home." The room went quiet for a second. "Don't say that," Jenna said immediately. "Seriously, don't," another girl added. "You know I hate that stuff." There it was. Collective fear. The air in the room got thicker, not cold, just heavy, like the house itself was listening. The thing hid flat against the wall behind the TV, blending with the dark rectangle from the screen. From there, it watched them. 4 young women in a dim house, all aware now that something was off, but none of them ready to admit it. It waited for the lights to go out. Night in the sorority house wasn't fully dark. There was street light through the blinds, the glow of chargers, a hallway nightlight, the bathroom fan light. But it didn't need pitch black. It just needed enough darkness to move. Sara brushed her teeth, looked at herself in the mirror. She was studying psychology, so she knew what to tell herself. Hypervigilance, sleep deprivation, pattern-seeking behavior. You watched too many videos. She turned off the bathroom light, and in the instant before the hallway light filled the space, something else was in the mirror. Not a face. A tall, flat shape where a person should be, right over her shoulder, like somebody had pasted a human silhouette into the scene. Then, it was gone. "Screw this," she whispered, and hurried to her room. Her room had the worst lighting. A lamp in the corner, a closet door that didn't fully shut, posters on the wall that made weird shadows. She turned on the lamp and left it on. She even opened her laptop for extra light. The shadow jumper pooled under her bed. It couldn't drag her yet. It wasn't strong enough to fully surface, but it could whisper in the only way it could, by imitating the kinds of things she was already afraid of. So the closet door creaked open half an inch. The hangers moved, barely, like someone brushed past. Her desk chair rotated a few degrees toward her. Sara sat on her bed, staring at it. This wasn't random. This felt targeted. She grabbed her phone. The call log showed a missed call from an unknown number. Time, 12:03 a.m. She hadn't heard it ring. Text came in right then. "Did you bring it back?" It was from Jenna. Sara's thumbs hovered. "What are you talking about? The lights keep going out down here and I heard someone on the stairs." Now it was feeding from 2 rooms at once. The house had become a fear farm. The tipping point came at 12:17 a.m. The power didn't go out. The lights went out one at a time. Kitchen first, then the hallway, then the living room, then the downstairs lamp. Not a breaker. A choice. "Sara!" Jenna yelled from downstairs, voice cracking. Sara shot off the bed, grabbed her phone for light, opened her door. The hallway was bands of dark and light from street lamps outside. Perfect. Something moved along the wall. Flat, wrong, too fast for a person. Just outside her cone of light. "Jenna," Sara called. "I don't like this," another girl shouted from somewhere else. "Turn the lights back on." Their fear spiked. The house felt like it inhaled. The shadow jumper rose. Not fully, not the final form, but enough. Enough to stop crawling and start standing. From every corner where the light didn't reach, from under tables, under the stairs, behind the coat rack, it pulled itself taller, like liquid dark gathering into a shape. No face, no eyes, just a tall, human-sized absence with long arms that narrowed to nothing. When it stepped, it didn't make sound. It glided from shadow to shadow, never crossing light, circling the girls like a shark. Sara backed up toward her room. "Everyone get to the hallway. Use your phones." They did. 4 phones raised, cones of light cutting the dark. The thing stayed just outside each cone. Testing. Watching. Light still heard it. But light couldn't save them now, because fear was stronger than the light. Here's what Sara didn't know. These things don't just feed on one person's dread. They feed on shared fear. That moment when everyone in the room believes they're not safe. That's when it becomes solid. That's when it can step out of the wall. That's when it can finish. So the shadow jumper waited until all 4 girls were in the hall, lights shaking in their hands, whimpering, asking, "What is it? What is it?" over and over. Then it used their own bodies against them. It moved into the shadow cast by Sara's phone, slid up it like climbing a rope, and stepped out of it behind her. Jenna saw it first. Her light hit the wall, and for half a second it threw 2 shadows from Sara, not one. One normal, one too tall. "Behind you," Jenna whispered. Sara turned, slower than she should have, like her brain didn't want to fully see it. The thing was there. Not half-formed now, complete. A tall, slender shape made of layered darkness, edges rippling like smoke, head tilted the same way as in the mirror. No face, but a sense of attention. A feeling like being watched from point blank. Sara's light hit it, and this time it didn't vanish. It had fed too much. It could stand in the light now. She tried to scream, but it was already on her. Not with claws. Not with teeth. It didn't need to shred. All it had to do was wrap. It unfolded like a curtain and folded around her. A sheet of living dark, swallowing her outline, smothering light, muting sound. Her phone hit the floor. The light spun. The other girls screamed. Sara made a sound, but it was like someone yelling into a pillow. Short. Cut off. Then nothing. When the dark peeled back, she was on the floor, eyes open, not moving. The house went silent. The last hallway light flicked off. By the time campus police came, called by a neighbor who heard screaming, the story didn't make sense. Power surge. Girl collapsed. Others hysterical. No signs of a break-in. No signs of a person. Nothing on the street cams except flickering porch lights. The report would say, medical event. The girls would go to counseling. One of them would transfer. 2 of them would sleep with lights on for months. But the thing? It was stronger now. It had fed on 5 minds at once. It had completed a full manifestation. It had learned what kind of fear worked best. And best of all, it picked up something while it was wrapped around Sara. Her memories, her classes, her schedule, her friends, her campus. So a week later, when a different student walked through the same lounge late at night and paused for a second at the dark corner by the vending machines, there was already a shadow there, waiting.